Funny is because that noise is supposed to like signify like, oh shit, here we come, right?
It's like, hey, what's
we
up?
press the noise and we're like, hey everybody, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Noonchi Podcast. Bobby and Danny here today. Actually, we are filming during work hours. We are doing, we're bad boys. Bob, how do you feel recording during work hours?
We had no choice. Like we can't do it any other time.
Right.
Because yesterday we were supposed to do it last night, but we got pulled into a dinner meeting for work. So we technically worked overtime yesterday.
Right. And we had booze in us and blah, blah, blah.
We're buying back that time.
Right. So, it's not like we're fucking slacking off, people.
Yeah. I'm still leaving late tonight, so
it's like the way I'm sitting right now, it's like, the last few episodes.
Yeah.
I've been watching our obviously on YouTube, our episodes.
You watch our episodes?
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm one of the 150 views and shit.
So you relive our conversations?
But I look at him going, oh my God, I'm getting fatter. Right? And the thing is, like, I'm wearing, I typically wear like mostly black clothing.
Yeah.
People will say that I'm always ready for a funeral.
Yeah.
But it's not slimming, bro.
I feel the same way too. Like whenever I see us or, I'm on the Second Wind podcast too. And I noticed I was watching their latest episode on YouTube. And I look like I put on some pounds.
Well, I can tell by
looking at
your shirt.
Baby butt belly right now.
Yeah. I'm looking at your shirt right now, and I don't want to fat shame, but it looks like a chain link fence right now. Anyway, so the weather is getting warmer in Korea. I don't know if that's affecting my mood in terms of I feel like I'm getting more tired. I thought that like the winter, like bear style, I would hibernate and be tired. And then like as the sun gets warmer, the weather gets warmer, I'd be like, yay.
Yeah.
Like, like just the weather's better. But I think we talked about this before, but the last 2 weeks, like I wake up and I usually cuss every time I wake up. Right?
Or explain.
Like, every time I open my eyes after sleep, I go, fuck, right?
Because you gotta be somewhere?
Yes. It's particularly when I have to come to work, right? But these last 2 weeks, there was extra cursing.
Okay.
Right? And it took me a lot longer to like start the engine.
Extra for why? What's going on?
Like, I'm so tired. And it's not like I've been sleeping less than before. Matter of fact, I make it because of me feeling tired. I'd be like, you know what? I read that book, Why We Sleep, and the benefits of sleep. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's what it is. I'm at a sleep deficit, so I'm going to get it all back. Right?
It's more than just sleep. It's exercise.
Yeah,
it's diet.
Yeah.
Like when you're eating foods that take a long time to digest or have a harder time digesting, that affects, how groggy or how, when that all takes into account. Like, it's not sleep. Yeah.
I get it, but it's not like I changed anything.
Yeah.
Like I didn't change anything for the last, I don't know, like let's say 3 years, right? In terms of like what I do. Right? Eating, etc. Everything, right? So I figure I should be the same, but I'm not. And I feel it, right? And now is it, people will chalk it up to, you're getting older, Danny.
It is. It's also age, too.
Yeah. It's possible, but a part of me is not cool with this lack of vigor for the day, And then,
man, you know what? I know directly that when I run, life, just quality of life is just much better. I actually, when I'm like steadily running daily or at least every other day, putting on decent miles, of course, I'm even less like I don't even need naps. Like, so I'm big on naps, right? Because I have to, because my nighttime schedule usually allots me like not a lot of sleep.
Right.
Because also I wake up a couple times in the middle of the night because the baby's crying or something, right? So I depend on naps on the weekend. Right. If I'm lucky, I'll get like 1 or 2 naps. Right. But I don't know.
Like these days, like on my weekends, back when I was younger, weekends were designated for particularly a Friday or a Saturday. For Saturdays in particular, right? Saturday is a day to go fucking wild as shit because Sunday is for you to recover and then you go to work on Monday, right? So Saturday to me was the day, right?
Right.
But now,
those days.
But now, like I want Saturday for me to not go buck wild.
So the move is Friday night. So Friday night, but you have shows, right? Right. After the show, you gotta take advantage of going out then and then recover Saturdays. It's just that's what you got to deal with now.
But then here's the other, what's interesting, because Seoul is still closed after 10, right?
Yeah.
So what's funny? At Hongdae on a Friday at 10:30.
Yeah.
It's as if it was Hongdae on a normal day, on regular hours at like 2-3 a.m. Meaning motherfuckers are fucked up at 10:30. You know what I mean? And on top of that, you see fools like trying to hook up with girls on the street. So meaning like, hey, like you want to come? I grabbed the hotel room. You want to come drink with me? And I'm like. Yeah. COVID has, because obviously pre-COVID, if you were like, hey, I got a hotel room, you want to come drink with me? Most people would be like, nah, probably not, right? But I think that COVID is an excuse for you to go to a random person's hotel room to drink.
Okay.
Like it's a little bit of a more a little bit more, because to be honest, 10 is fairly early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I didn't really think about that. Like it must really suck for single people now. More like for me, it's like, it's annoying getting off of work, let's say right at 10.
Yeah.
Cause I know as soon as I get to the train, it's going to be packed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's like usually like when that wasn't the curfew,
right?
Like I would go at 10 and be empty. I would love it. I'd have a seat.
Right.
And now I have to deal with all these drunk people. It smells like soju. I mean, it's like it always smells like soju after 6, but
right.
Yeah, but I guess there's a lot of I mean, that's just what it is now. Like I'm also used to the fact that what is it?
We're live, Bobby.
Damn it. I had a point. I had that just completely escaped me. Like, anyway.
I have something that I'm kind of annoyed with about subway seat etiquette, right? And it goes for people like me, meaning we fill the seat, right? We're big, we're wide motherfuckers, so we'll fill the seat. Now, if there's 2 fucking fat people sitting next to each other, right? Then there's this weird like upper body fight that goes on. You know what I mean? And to me, the proper way for 2 fat people to sit next to each other on a subway is with their hand in prayer position.
In prayer position?
Yeah, so your hands are kind of like, like this.
Yeah.
You try to make yourself less wide right?
Yeah.
But then the assholes are the ones that have their arms folded while they're seating.
Yeah.
Because what that does is now you're locked in.
Yeah.
You're either in front or behind. And so one person has to, and this is the same for the fat people that sit on the middle seat on a plane. Right?
Right.
The middle seat on a plane, if you kind of like widen up by getting all the way into your seat, you start spilling over.
Man, personal space, and when it comes to personal space, that's the worst. Like, people have different levels of Noonchi when it comes to that.
Right.
I'm definitely the type of person that I won't even sit down if there's a seat available. If I can tell that I'm gonna have to adjust myself, because I'm always the one adjusting, and I'd rather stand up than have to deal with that. Like, if two people are like just comfortably sitting on either side of me,
right,
I'm always the one that's leaning forward with my elbows on my knees.
So you're in I'm taking a shit position, elbows on your knees or on your phone.
Yeah,
that's not boo. Fuck that. Fuck that. I've been annoyed because like especially morning hours when you come into work, right, and you're on the train, and then you're already frustrated that you're going to work, right? Who enjoys like, oh my god, I can't wait to fucking look at a computer screen for 8 hours. Like, no one's gonna do that, right? But so I'm kind of just mentally like preparing myself, and then this motherfucking villain sits next to me and just like widens out, and I'm looking at him like, you didn't learn this in like train seat class, motherfucker. right. Like, there's like common decent moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think international rules, like in an elevator or in a subway, people exit first and then you go in. Right? When people try to enter before everyone exits, I'm like, you didn't learn this in like fucking subway door class, motherfucker. Right.
So it's always something new. Not something new. It's always the same thing every day when I'm on the train. Like, I'll get in line and someone just finagles their way, like cutting. There's always someone cutting the line.
Right.
And it's not only the older people.
Right.
Like, it's some people, they just they know that they can get away with it because no one's gonna say anything.
Right.
That shit annoys the hell out of me. I see it every day on a daily basis.
You know what I did today with some woman that cut?
What?
Like, got off on Sannung, right? But she cut. Right. And luckily we got off the same exit. And she was probably 10 steps ahead of me. Right. And then she stopped at that intersection where the light is, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, so did you get there faster?
Oh, you
I was like, did you get there faster?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she was like, there? And I was like, don't cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I was like, you didn't get faster to where the fuck you needed to go to, right?
Oh, wow. You gave her you dropped some wisdom on her.
Yeah. I'm like, these days, like, you know what? I can't wait to get older. Yeah. Because I'm continually like not giving a fuck.
Oh, Danny Sangseung님.
Yeah, but I was like, yo, did you get there faster? 갈 때 더 빨리 가셨어요? 네? 빨리 도착했어요? 그래요? 예? 새치기 하지 마세요.
I know what I wanted to say earlier that escaped my mind.
What?
Is that, the trend these days, we might have talked about this on the show, I don't know, but maybe I'll bring it up again. But now that everything closes at 10, or even it was 9 o'clock a couple of weeks ago, right? So people are scheduling dinners at 5 o'clock.
Right.
That's like really weird. But I've been to multiple dinner meetings or just dinners at 5 or 6 o'clock.
Right.
So it's just everyone's just shifting, to make it all right. So that's why like people being drunk and like it's 3 a.m. at 10 like makes sense.
Oh, dude, right? But you know what I think? I felt like when the curfew was at 9, people just said, fuck it, it's too early. Yeah. We're not going to go crazy.
Right? That's true, actually. Right? Yeah, people were kind of like just drinking at home at that point. Right?
But when they made it at 10, they were like, oh shit, 10 might work. Yeah. And then that's when they cram all their drinking in at 10.
What ended up happening was they left things open at 10.
Right.
And the 5 o'clock dinners didn't go to 6.
Right.
They just stayed at 5.
Right.
And people tacked on another hour of drinking.
Exactly.
So what did we make any progress? Making it 10? I don't know. Like, are we in a worse position now? Because there's a lot of drunk mofos.
I mean, I don't mind a 5 o'clock dinner if there's added drinking. You know what I mean? As an incentive, right?
Maybe that has a lot to do with being tired, though. These days, like we do have a lot of dinner meetings.
Yeah.
Right. And with this Korea, there's always drinks involved, right? So we're always catching up. We're not getting real sleep because when you have alcohol in your system, your body's not getting great rest. Right?
You're not getting great rest. Yes,
that's probably why I'm really tired. Like, I always try to throw in a drink at home too before I go to bed, like a nightcap or something. Maybe that's not the best idea.
You know what? I'm very good at not drinking by myself. I rarely do it. I almost never do it.
I have problems.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to argue that with you. But I was thinking, we always have this because we're not an organized podcast. We always just talk about what the fuck we want to talk about. I was thinking, I saw you on another podcast, right?
Yeah.
You've been cheating on me on podcasts. You've been on a bunch of other people's...
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, you've been on other people's podcasts. And this is why I felt like I've been cheating.
No, come on, though. You've been on those podcasts too.
This is why I feel like I'm cheating. It's not because you went and was a guest on other people's podcasts. That's not why I was upset. I was upset because some stories you told on other people's podcasts were wild.
Yeah.
And was never mentioned on the Noonchi Podcast.
Oh.
Right?
Which one are you thinking of? And I was like,
what the fuck? Like, we have our own podcast to talk about.
Wait. The one where I tell how I met my wife?
No.
Something else.
No, you were on the Not So Classy podcast.
Oh,
and clearly you were drunk. I know the story because you told me, right? But you talked about shitting on yourself, and I was like, "Wait a minute! You know how much random shit I've
I didn't talk about that on Noonchi.
No, you've never talked about.
Did we talk about it on any other podcasts of our not in When in Seoul?
Not When in Seoul. Probably in like the older podcast, right? But I went, hey man,
my bad.
I've revealed crazy shit about myself on this podcast.
But the thing is, like, we talk about what happened this week or last week, right? And so, but the question came up: when was the last time you shot yourself? And so, so I had to tell that story,
right?
Like, we rarely give ourselves those questions, like, hey, when was the last time you shot on your? Like, we don't give ourselves those questions, right? I can talk about it.
7 years ago, I shot on myself, but it was a shot. Yeah.
For me, it was around that time too. Like, no, wait. Actually, I was married.
You shot on yourself while you were married. That's amazing.
So it was in the last 5 years. Yeah.
So I know the story because you've told me the story in person.
Oh, so you're gonna make me tell the story now?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna give one more of our 150 views to Esna. That needs to come to us.
I'll be more. I don't remember how I told the story on Esna's podcast. I was drunk,
right?
And so I'll give you all the details now. Right. Okay. So we'll just go through it. All right. So I think it was like 5 years ago. I remember I was often constipated. Like, I wouldn't go for days.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And this one time, I think I had gone a week without pooping.
Ooh.
And so I thought something was wrong with me. So Sungwoo from No Brain was like, hey, you just need to relax, so let me go take you to the guy that massages me and tell him what the problem is. So he did all this stuff on me, and like, and I told him the problems, and so he worked this area, my stomach and all that, and he's like, yeah, you should be okay, right? And so another 2 days went by and nothing happened. Another 24 hours went by, something like that. Yeah, 24 hours went by and nothing happened. So it was like, oh, all right, so I'm gonna have to go to the doctor basically soon. But the next night I went to go drink, and then I went to go eat. This was when I lived in Mangwon, and we were at that udon place, that famous udon place in
Mangwon.
Yeah, with the tonkatsu.
Yeah.
We're there. You know how far that is from my house? It's not that far.
Right.
It's actually only like 3 blocks in actuality, right? So I was like, finally got Nukim there. And I was like, oh, I'm really close to home.
Yeah.
Actually, I was really happy. I was like, yeah, I think I can hold it.
Right.
I finally got the Nukim. I could have just went to the bathroom at the udon place, right? But no, I was like, I'm close enough to home. So I got halfway home, and it was just kind of like, you know how that feeling you get like when you're really close to a bathroom.
Right.
And your body like just triggers itself and it says, oh, you're at the toilet, but you're not there. You just know that your body just says it's time to go, and you find yourself clenching those last moments. But most of the time you make it, right?
Right.
And it's an awesome, sensational feeling, right? You get like, that's a good thing.
When the shit is coming out as you're sitting, so it's a perfect timing. You're like, woo, one more second and I would have shat on the floor, right? Like that.
I was a block and a half away from home, and I was getting that feeling. It wasn't steps away from the bathroom.
Right.
So I'm clenching. I'm literally like the worst clench. Like I'm walking like a stick figure.
Right.
Like I'm trying my best, and then I'd stop every few steps just to see, like, just to hold in, like, work those muscles. Like And then I knew at one point, I was like, I'm not going to make it home. Nothing is open around here. It's late at night. There's nothing. There's no like buildings where the bathrooms are like in between stairs, floors. And so I had to figure something out. So I found there were like garages that fit only one car in there. So I remember there was one of those and a car in there, but I could clearly see like like
the grates,
a grate, yeah, like a sewer grate, like where I know at least it can wash away with like with just like rain. It's like, all right, this is my best shot. At least I'll let go in a place where there's already nasty stuff.
Right.
And then when I did that, I didn't make it in time.
Ooh.
So I pulled down halfway and I basically got some on the pants.
Ooh.
I had a trench coat and I didn't get that away in the time. It got on the jacket. It got on my pants.
Ooh.
It got in and it went, most of it missed the grate. But mind you, this is like 7 days of not pooping.
Right.
So there was a lot of, like, I don't know how much made it in, but some didn't make it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like, and great at the same time. Because I was like finally relieved of it. I don't know if it wasn't a massage. I know it's just time. Like human body cannot go right.
Yeah.
But I was like, shit, like, what do I do? I don't have I didn't have anything on me. Like I didn't have like tissues or anything. So I first of all, I used my socks.
Of course. The socks is always the makeshift ass wiper.
And then, so I cleaned up as much as I could. And then I had to go home. So I went home. I cleaned up. As much as I could, I washed myself. I put all my clothes in a garbage bag. I threw it out.
Right.
Even the jacket.
Oof.
Like I knew I could probably clean it up, but why am I telling this story? Okay, so I threw everything out, but then, you know, I know for a fact that, you know, these people are going to come get their car the next day and they're going to see a pile of shit in their garage.
7 days worth
and
of
all
foam.
it takes, and all it takes is them to hit up any of the 100 CCTV cameras on that street to figure out who the offender is. And I'm running this through my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go back and clean this up.
Right.
So I was like, all right. So what I ended up doing was I bought 2-liter bottles of samdasu, like water. Because I needed some water to help me, you know, get this clean. Like you know, I brought that, and then I just basically used it as a hose to push it down the grate into the sewer. Right. And then I just remember I had 2 of them. I figured that would be enough, right? And I barely got half of it down the grate with 2. So I had to go back to the 편의점, buy more water. And then I cleaned it all up. Right. And it all went all down the grate, the water, everything. So, because I felt so bad to the owners of that place, but then you can't get it fully out. Like, I remember it made me feel so embarrassed. I stopped walking down that street. I stopped walking down that street and I stopped going to that area.
So what if so what if like you'd be like, hey, let's meet at the udon place, then you would go around the block?
I mean, here I am. I'm in my late 30s, right? And I'm bearing in mind what the sage advice you got in terms of like, when you're in your 30s, you will shit your pants at least once. Right? For me, that couldn't be more true. But like to add, like it's not, you know, like
you threw down 8 liters of samdasu. Wow, that's so crazy.
7 days, man. But that reminds me, in high school, I think I told you this, right? When I was in high school, I was super skinny, really skinny, and I barely ate. I used to eat my friends' pizza crust.
Right, you butterfly, I throw Parmesan cheese.
I never had I didn't have enough money to eat half the week, right? Because it all ran out by Wednesday. Right. So I just was used to not pooping. I pooped once a week then. I remember that was my senior year. Yeah. I remember I had a roommate towards the end of my senior year, and he was... you know, he noticed that he never had to replace the toilet paper. He's like, oh man, you must not like really use a lot of toilet paper. It's like, yeah, no, I use it like once a week. And he's like, what are you talking about? Wait, what? Yeah. So I had to explain to him, I thought it was normal. No. And so he was like, you poop once a week? And he flipped out. He's like, what? Yeah. I didn't know until that time in my life that people poop daily. Right. And he's like, and I asked him, how many times do you a week? Yeah. He's like, every day. Yeah. Maybe twice a day. Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah. I was just as shocked. But like, you know, like now it's a daily occurrence, of course.
Well, that's, well, you know what? I'm glad that your bowel movements are to normal. You know? And with that being said, thank you for... This is not a me shitting on myself story.
Let's just move past the shit stories, maybe.
No, whatever.
All right, dude. Go for it. Is it about somebody else?
It's hilarious. Okay. So I was the president of the UCLA Korean Student Association, right? KSA. And so a bunch of the KSAs from other schools we go on a ski trip together, depending on our schedules.
Yeah.
So we'll go with like 3-4 schools.
Yeah.
And we'll get a bunch of cabins in Mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
And then per school, we'll have 1 or 2 cabins. And then, you know, we'll drink, we'll fuck around. And then, you know, we'll go ski. And it's like a, 2-3 day trip. Right?
Yeah.
And so I was a president. And mind you, at the time, the KSA at UCLA in particular was known as the Korean Smokers and Alcoholics Association because we did a lot of drinking and partying. Mm-hmm. And so we get to Mammoth or whatever, we bring a bunch of booze, right? And this freshman kid, he looks at me and goes, no disrespect, Kyung, but I thought you guys could drink. Okay. That's what he said. I said, excuse, what? What's your Kyung? He's like, I don't know, I thought you guys were going to throw down. I was okay. So it's me.
Wait, you didn't bring enough booze or what?
No, because he just was like, I can drink in high school. I was the heavy drinker in high school, and you haven't shown me anything.
He's just kind of like
challenging me, and I was like, what motherfucker? All right, here, Yanja, right? And then there was another dude that was an upperclassman. He was a year younger than me, but this motherfucker was a crazy drinker too, right? Yeah. And I said, okay, yeah. I could name his name. I was like, yo, Eric.
Yeah.
Hear what this motherfucker say? Okay. And he said, oh, Shiba. So it was us 3. Mm-hmm. And we had like a Costco handle of Jim Beam. Okay. Right? Uh-huh. And I go, we're doing shot for shot. Okay. Right? And so about 18 shots in, this dude's done. He's like, Young, I can't do it anymore. And I was like, oh, I thought you couldn't drink. Right? Then he's like, oh, hell, that's all right. Go upstairs and go to bed. You're fucked up. Uh-huh. Now, we had 4 cabins. Yeah. And I had people in charge of the cabins because I paid a security deposit, so I don't want things fucked up. Yeah. So I had that kid, Eric, he was in charge of this cabin or this condo. So, we're partying, we're drinking, we're fucking around. And all of a sudden, I was like, hey, man, we probably should check up on that kid upstairs. Yeah. Right? So I go up. So me and Eric go upstairs, and I'm like, "Why does it smell like shit?" No. But he's on his bed sleeping. Yeah. Right. Like, why does it smell like shit? We go to the bathroom. No traces of shit anywhere. Mm-mm. Right. We look around. No. And I was like, I looked at Eric and I said, "Hey, I think he shat on himself. Mm-hmm. You should go check." He's like, "Oh fuck," because you're drunk, right? And he's like, "Oh fuck." He goes in there. He's like, "Yeah, he shat on himself." Right. Oh no. Right. So but he's sleeping like stomach. So
he had his pants on, or
he had his pants on, right? So we woke him up and, yo, you should go inside. You shat on yourself, right? Yeah. So like he's drunk, so he's like trying to get up, but like he can't take off his belt, right? Yeah. So Eric takes off his belt for him to help him out, and then so now he's in his underwear. He did shit on himself. Yeah. But the thing was, so he had those regular boxers, right? Not the boxer briefs with
regular boxers.
Regular boxers, yes. Flowing boxers, right? So every step he took to the bathroom, oh no. It felt like a trail came, and that's when I sobered up. Yeah. Because I paid a security deposit.
You're not gonna get that back.
And I was like, oh man, that was an expensive ass security deposit. Yeah. Right? And so oh my god. So long story short, like we did everything we can, cleaned them up or whatever, and then we cleaned up the shit, or whatever. So like we were good. But the thing was, that cabin was on the way to the ski lift. So we were the closest cabin to the ski lift. So all the other schools that were further away had to pass our cabin to go to the ski lift, right? Okay. So the next morning, like, Eric, he's like, man, like when you clean someone else's shit, you sober up real quick, right? And he's just, we're smoking, and then we kind of told some people, right? We kind of told some people,
poor guy,
in the cabin, right? Because we had to clean.
What's that smell,
right? But there's this one dude that was an upperclassman too. He's kind of an asshole, right? But I love the guy. So he's smoking a cigarette, and then the next morning, when all like UCI and UCU Santa Barbara was like walking past us, he's like, "Yo, you think you can party? we made a freshman shit on himself. Right? Right?
Oh, man.
And then from that day on, his nickname was Choco Panties, right? Right?
No.
But he was a freshman at that time, right?
Oh, man.
And he was a part
guy.
of freshman staff.
Okay.
Right? So there was a freshman staff to do freshman, like events, right?
Oh, I feel so bad for him.
So this fool, like, it's not the end of the year. It's fucking. It's winter time. So we have another like 6 months of school where we would have staff meetings at my house or whatever, And I remember one time he was complaining about something, and I swear to God, it wasn't even a pun. My brain went, "Hey man, shit happens, right?" And everyone went, "Ah!" Right? And after that, Choco Panties never came to a KSA event. Yeah.
Wonder what he's up to now. He probably, it must be traumatizing. Man, it's one thing to shit your pants in your 30s and you're like, you can't move on. Right. It's fine.
Yeah.
But when you're like 18 years old, come on, man.
Yeah. I didn't call him Choco Panties. I didn't come up with the name.
That's pretty bad.
That's bad. I didn't come up with the name. It was just some kid called him Choco Panties, and I was like, "Oh man, that's gonna stick, man!" Like right when he said Choco Panties, I was like, "Ooh, that's a good name."
What up, CP?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh no, that's too good. That is a perfect nickname for what that was, right?" So to make it nice, I was like, "Come on, man, let's not call him that, right?" So Eric goes, "What if we call him Choco?" Or Chokes. What's up, Chokes? Right? And I was like, nah, because it's still referring to the situation. But if you're watching, dude, I don't know if you are, but if you're watching, I hope you're doing well. I apologize. I couldn't cover that situation up more. You know what I mean? For you. But I feel like he definitely did not show up his second year to KSA.
Ah, man.
And
hope you're okay, man.
I hope you're okay. And then I remember one of the girls,
the best of us.
One of the girls that was dating him.
Yeah.
Oh man, she was such a sweet girl. And like, I don't know if they stayed together, like in college, but the other kids were brutal. I never made fun of him for shitting on himself.
I wonder if her nickname was Milk. Choco Pie and Milk go really well together,
Oh man, this was a very scatological episode, right? Okay, so enough of the scat shit, right? I think we'll have a few more minutes left. So one thing I was thinking about, Bob, was like almost every week, I have one of these like thoughts of my journey.
In life in general?
Yeah, but
or
it's more
your time in Korea?
Both. I mean, career based, right? Like what would have happened if actually, you know what? Scratch that. That's not what I want to talk about. Okay. That's not fun, right? I'm not a parent, so I want to ask you, are there times when you look at your son and be like, "Oh my God, you're a genius," or "Oh my God, you're fucking stupid"?
Yeah, that second one. Yeah.
You do? Yeah. You do?
Yeah.
And do you blame it on one of your genes?
No. It's more like I know he's not like all kids. They're not geniuses.
Of course.
But it's just like, come on, just like move it along. Hurry up and start Like, don't touch that. Like, how many times do I have to say, don't touch that? Or like, don't pick up dust and eat it.
So he ate dust.
Or like anything on the ground. Like he'll pick it up, think it's food. So I end up having so I bought a multiple, like, what do you call those? Like hand vacuums. Just because I need it.
At all times.
Got it. Like if I see like something on the ground that I think he'll pick up and try to put in his mouth, like I grab that thing and then I just like
your kid should probably never come to my house.
There's a lot of crumbs and
stuff like body crumbs.
Ugh.
Because of my psoriasis. I'll look on the floor and be like, oh my God, like who it's like someone dropped turtle food on the floor, right? So so that's why like I was like, oh no. I asked my parents like if they thought I was stupid, right? Or like if there were moments. And my mom and dad go, there are times when we think you're a genius for your age, and there are times when we think you're the dumbest motherfucker we've ever met, right? I don't think I've ever talked about this story, but it's about the first time I got my ass kicked by my parents.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right?
I think I told you the story.
Yeah, I've heard of this, but I forgot what the context was.
So I'm sitting on a 전기 장판, right, in the living room.
Yeah, which is a heated...
Like an electric blanket.
Blanket?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sitting, at the age of 2, I'm sitting on a 전기 장판.
Yeah.
And my parent in the living room, and my parents are in the kitchen table with some aunts and uncles, and they're talking about whatever, they're having fun. And I felt cold at the age of 2, and I remember this, so I cranked the heater up to high, right? Wasn't hot enough, right? In my opinion.
Okay.
At the time, my father used to smoke cigarettes, and so his lighter was on the like a coffee table. I got the lighter, and I figured fire equals hot.
Yeah.
So I lit the 전기장판 on fire.
Okay.
Right? Which, at the age of 2, is kind of smart.
That's kind of genius.
Right?
Yeah. That's.
My parents didn't think so, because my father, who is 6'2", 6'1", 6'2",
yeah,
smells the fire, runs out first. Very athletic, right?
Yeah.
He starts putting out the fire, and then he proceeds to put me out, kicking my ass. At the age of 2, I was not really familiar with the concept of mom and dad.
Yeah.
I just knew him as the dude that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And then my mom as the lady that feeds me. I like her, right?
What was he doing though? Like, was he like spanking you?
Oh no! Well, it wasn't a punch. It wasn't like, here, turn around and spank.
Yeah.
It was, I'm just gonna hit this kid. It wasn't a spank on the bottom. It was like anywhere he can get his hands on. He fucked me up.
That's crazy because you were 2.
Yeah.
I don't have any memories of when I was 2, but I'm thinking you probably remembered because
it was that traumatic.
Yeah.
So in my mind, as I'm covering up like I'm getting jumped into a gang, right? I see my mom running now, right? So in my mind again, to her, she's not my mom. I don't know what that is. She's just a lady that feeds me and is nice to me. So I was like, oh, this lady's gonna save me. She's always saved me, right? She pulls my father away off of me. And I was like, see? That lady saved me. And then my mom jumped in and started kicking my ass. Right? And I was like, what the fuck?
What is going on?
Like it was like a wrestling tag match. And I was only one member, and they had a tag team. And she beat the shit out of me. You know? And to this day, like, I'm not afraid of fire, but every time I hit a lighter, there's a moment that sends me back into getting my ass kicked.
Okay.
I talked to my parents about it, and so I thought, don't you think it was kind of genius that a 2-year-old could figure this out?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but you almost burned the house down, so we figured, fuck that, right? And
you can't do that again.
So as long as you don't have those instances, you know.
I mean, there are moments like that really scare us because he'll grab anything and anything. Even so, like he'll get near the stove if he runs. If we're not, we always have to watch him.
Right. So, but don't you think instead of saying no sometimes, you know, just a little burn, you know, we'll be like, oh, fuck that. I'm never... See, similar to me being careful with fire, right?
Yeah.
My dad's liquor store, there was like a light socket without a light bulb in it.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad goes, don't touch that. 만지지 마.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where, appa?" And I fucking electrocuted myself. And after that, I was like, you know what? Never gonna do that shit again.
Yeah, same here. Right. I got electrocuted for similar way, and it made me cautious the rest of my life, basically. Yeah. So yeah, there's some part of me that believes that he should actually experience. But given that he's only 18 months old, I don't really want to push certain boundaries just yet. So I'll let him start. I'll let him, like pick up dust and eat it. I know it's not going to kill him, but then we try our best to make it as safe as possible for him. But eventually, when I know that he could take a little bit of a, like
life speeding.
Yeah, like I think it's kind of necessary, right? But like, I mean, the question being like, do you think your kid is a dumbass? Yeah. Like, yeah, like I feel like that a lot. Like putting like shapes into a shape,
like a circle into a square peg or something.
Yeah, like putting like a shape of a star into a hole shape. A whole shaped star, like, a star shaped hole. Sorry, I'm the dumb idiot, man. I can't even. So, but I'm there. I'm like watching him try to put a square into a square, Yeah. And I'm just like, come on, man! Like just look at the square that you're holding and put that shit in there. Sometimes it's just like
it's 18 months.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, like that's what made me think of like, do I ever have moments of do I think this kid is dumb? I'm like, come on, circle. It goes in there, man. Oh man.
The moment my mom and dad questioned my intelligence, I was about 3. Yeah. And everything happened at that time, right? Last story. And then so my parents owned a liquor store, right? So the mailman, he or she would, do the run and be tired. So like drop off his or her bag, depending on, it was always man or woman, drop off the mail bag, like next to the ice cream machine, and then like go get like a Gatorade or something, right? And in the mail bag sack, there's a can of mace.
Whoa.
On there because neighborhood just dogs, case, or whatever, right? I don't know what mace is. To me, that looks like perfume that my mom would sometimes spray, right? Right. So I said, "Oh, this might be perfume," and I grabbed it and I went, and I sprayed. I maced myself, and I went rah, like I fucking did crazy, right?
Oh my gosh!
And my mom went, "Fucking 병신." So that's when my mom was like, "Is this full slow? Like is it like But and then I did well in decently in school and whatnot. So they're like, "Oh, he's smart." And then I go, "Mom, I'm gonna quit all that to do this shit." And like, I knew it. That motherfucker was stupid. So
on that note,
엄마 미안해요. 아빠 미안해요. I'm stupid.
Oh man. I should ask my mom that question.
Did you think I was ever? Did you think I was like really stupid? Did you go?
I need to ask her that. I asked my mom the question just to joke around. Just saying, because I have 2 older brothers. Right. There's 3 boys, no girls. Yeah. And I remember asking her just to joke around. Yeah. Oh, who's your favorite, Amma? She didn't even take a moment to think about it. She said, Charlie. Like, I was so shocked that she didn't. That was. I didn't know that's how she felt. And I was like, what? You have a favorite? And she's like, Bobby, clearly Charlie's my favorite.
He's doctor, stupid.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Well, if you have more children, I'm sure it's going to be hard because I hear all parents, they have a favorite, but you're going to try to give unconditional love to both or more all your children, know. But
I'll definitely have a favorite. Whoever treats me better when I'm older.
Whoever puts the square into the square. But it's okay, Benji. Danny Samchun loves you.
I love you too.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. We have to get out soon because another creator has to do shit here. So thanks for tuning in.
Peace.
As always, thank you for your comments. Email us or leave comments. We can give life advice, you know.
I have one last thing. Like I have something to plug that I never plug. I have my own merch shop online. If you go to marple.com/bigphony or something, or just look at, like, go to one of my social media, like Instagram.
How about we put the link in the description of the...
I'm actually, this is the first time I've done this. I wore my own merch. So I'm wearing this. You can see I'm wearing a Big Phony t-shirt.
You did it on purpose, or did you not do it?
I'm just like, I want to stop having these ideals. And these...
Yes.
So this shirt was closest to me when I was dressing myself this morning. I was like, you know what? It's closest. I'm gonna put it on, save myself 30 seconds.
So go get Big Phony merch. The links will be in the description of this episode. Yeah. Hope everyone is safe, and be careful out there because crazy times, especially our family back in the US. Be careful out there.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.